Good day fellow woodworkers, my name is Thomas and you're watching Casual DIY channel. In today's episode we'll be making a guide for our router, so it will save you a lot of time aligning the router and making a straight pass. Check out the video. So you've probably seen a few YouTube videos about using a track saw track and basically mounting the router onto that, building something on top of this so you've got a nice straight cut. And that's absolutely fine, but not everybody has got a plunge saw with a track. An easier and cheaper option would be using a T-track system. Now, why is that? A, it's fairly cheap to get one. B, it will be definitely straight. And if you get a correct T-track size, actually most of the clamps will work with them, or you can make your own clamping system as well. So let's have a look how we can use a T-track as a guide for our router. So my particular T-track is 12mm in thickness, and as the material to build the base for our router, I'm actually going to be using 12mm MDF, as that's what I've got straight away in the right thickness. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, we need 3 pieces of this MDF, and basically we need to cut it to the right sizes. The sizes of the pieces will actually depend on the size of your router base plate, so you need to have a look at that and do your own measurements. But the idea is quite simple. Okay, so we've got the 3 pieces and they go like this. So that's the back, that's the front where the router will rest, and that's the connecting bit. So we just need to connect those 3 pieces together. And for that I'm going to be using some glue, brad nails, and then reinforce it with some screws. Make sure the pieces are fairly tight and obviously square. Okay, so we've got our base. That's our T-track. It goes over the T-track and obviously goes up and down. Fairly simple idea there. And now we need to mount our router onto the base itself. And now it all depends on the type of router you've got. You can take the plastic cover here and just screw or bolt the whole router to the base like so. In my case, I actually got 3 holes that I'm going to use for bolts that will attach to the plate itself. And that will actually allow me to take the router off this sled a lot quicker, as I don't have to put the plastic back on it. I just undo the bolts and I'm ready to go. So if you've got that ability, go for it. So in this particular case I'm going to be using the hex drive head nuts. As you can see, in this particular case they will be absolutely perfect. In the next step, I just want to make a mark directly where the router is going, so I know where to drill a bigger hole with a hole saw, just so I've got space of variety of different types of cutter heads, so I don't have to plunge through it and potentially damage the plate itself. So yeah, I'm just going to mark it with a straight bit so I know where the middle is, and then with a hole saw we're going to cut out a bigger hole in the plate. I want this jig to be really accurate, and I want to know exactly and straightforward where I need to place it. So for example, if you're going to draw a line on a piece of wood that you want to use this jig on, you will know exactly where to put it. How are we going to do that? I've got a plastic acrylic sheet. I think it's about 3mm in thickness. So I'm going to use my table saw to take some material off the bottom of this jig so we can actually glue this on. And later on we'll mark the plastic acrylic sheet with a straight line to indicate where the middle of the cutting head of your router will actually go, and then you can align that with a line that you've placed on a piece of wood or anything else. So let's crack on and do that right now. As you see, I use my table saw and this sled to actually channel out some of the material off for this plastic acrylic sheet. I also channeled through 2 channels on each side over here a little bit deeper for the dust to have somewhere to actually escape as well. And to make sure we've got the exact point, the middle point where your router bit's gonna go, I've installed this channel bit, as you can see. So it's got a straight point head, which I'm gonna use to mark the acrylic sheet. If you're enjoying this video, think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so yet, as I will be bringing new videos and new content each week. Also, drop me that like button down below, it really helps a lot. But if you want to support me even more, you can head to my Patreon account. The link is down below. $2 a month for you may not be a lot, but for me, where I am, it sure is. So your support is much appreciated. So a big thank you to you if you decide to support me in that way. But for now, let's carry on with the project. Before gluing the acrylic sheets, I'm actually going to add some sanding sealer shellac to the whole jig just to protect us, as it is MDF and it will be prone to moisture. So 2 coats with denibbing in between, and then we'll glue in these acrylic sheets. Okay, so as you can see, the jig is ready. We've got the plates glued in. I only use CA glue, don't really need anything else. So let's have a look how it actually works. Okay, and as you've seen the little presentation, it actually works really good. Simple thing like this makes such an immense difference when using a router. Speeds up the work and it's just simple to use. Especially the acrylic indicators on each side, it makes such an easy job of making sure that your jig and your router is in the right place. But why am I using a T-track? They're fairly cheap. You can get them in different lengths, and actually you don't need clamps like these. I've got these clamps for my track saw, but it's a T-track. You can make any clamping mechanism you really want, and on top of it, obviously it's reversible, so you don't have to have the T-track down. You can have it up depending on what you're doing and where you can clamp it. I think simple thing like that is so versatile and definitely worth making. But what are your thoughts? Drop me a comment down below and let me know, what do you think about this? Now, me personally, obviously I made it for a purpose. I'm gonna use it in my future projects, which you're gonna probably see as well. If you also want to check out other things that I've made in my workshop, some improvements, the bench, anything like that, there should be a cool playlist over here for you. Go and check it out. There are all the videos of my workshop, coming from a absolute mess to a reasonable good garage now. So go and have a look now. But now, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Take care.